For the first time in history, the Champions League will be held under a completely new format, which will surely feel unfamiliar to many football fans. Naturally, the teams will have to adapt and create entirely different strategies from what they faced in previous seasons. Two of Spain's football giants, Real Madrid and Barcelona, are no exception. From the very first round, these two titans will be up against some of the top clubs in Europe. But before we look at the potential opponents Barca and Real could face in this season's Champions League, let's review the key changes for the 2024-2025 season, which will follow the Swiss format. With the number of teams increasing from 32 to 36, UEFA will divide the clubs into 4 different groups based on their accumulated points in European competitions. Each club will be drawn to face 2 teams from each group, meaning that every team will play 8 matches in the first round, 4 home and 4 away. After these initial 8 matches, the top 8 teams will automatically qualify for the round of 16 as seeded clubs. The clubs ranked 9th to 16th will then face those ranked 17th to 24th in 2-leg matches, with the higher-ranked teams playing the return leg at home. Once the 16 teams for the round of 16 are confirmed, the competition will return to the usual knockout format with 2-leg ties. This new format means that the first round of this season's Champions League could feature numerous thrilling encounters, and predicting how any club will perform is nearly impossible. Real Madrid and Barcelona, of course, won't be immune to this unpredictability. Matches will be drawn randomly by a computer to ensure fairness, so Barca and Real fans might anticipate some highly exciting clashes. Naturally, clubs like Barca and Real will be particularly focused on facing other top-tier teams. They might come up against opponents from Pot 1 or Pot 2. According to UEFA, the clubs in Pot 1 will include Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, PSG, Liverpool, Inter Milan, Borussia Dortmund, RB Leipzig, and Barcelona. Meanwhile, Pot 2 will feature notable names like Bayer Leverkusen, Atletico Madrid, Atalanta, Juventus, Benfica, Arsenal, Club Brugge, and AC Milan. In the first draw, clubs will not be allowed to face teams from their own country, but they may face up to 2 clubs from the same nation. Therefore, it's certain that Barca and Real will avoid facing Atletico Madrid in this round. The randomness of the draw means that fans can already begin to imagine some highly intriguing scenarios for both Barca and Real. This format will give fans the chance to witness some continental clashes that could be considered classics. For Real Madrid, let's first look at their potential opponents from Pot 1. Surely, the club that Carlo Ancelotti's men would least like to face is Manchester City. The new Champions League format allows the reigning champions of Europe's top leagues to face off right from the start. So, a Real Madrid versus Man City matchup is entirely possible, and perhaps the memory of the 2022-2023 Champions League semi-final still lingers in the minds of Carlo Ancelotti and his players. That season, a 1-1 draw at Santiago Bernabeu was followed by a tough trip to the Etihad Stadium, where even the most optimistic City fans could hardly have imagined their team scoring 4 goals against Real Madrid, the reigning champions of the competition. There are very few teams capable of putting 4 goals past Real Madrid in the Champions League, a competition where Los Blancos are the undisputed kings. Aside from City, another fascinating scenario for fans is a potential Real Madrid versus Paris Saint-Germain matchup. While comparing the strength of the 2 clubs might seem uneven, fans would undoubtedly be curious to see how Kylian Mbappé would perform against his former club for the first time. Everyone remembers Mbappé's struggles in the Champions League with PSG, and if given the chance, he would certainly want to prove that his decision to leave was the right one. In Pot 2, most teams will likely be seen as weaker than Real Madrid, but a clash with Arsenal might be a matchup that many fans are eager to see. On one side is the reigning king of Europe with world-class stars, and on the other, a young, hungry Arsenal team eager to make their mark in their second consecutive Champions League season. Of course, other names like Juventus or Bayer Leverkusen could also present exciting possibilities, and Madridistas are undoubtedly looking forward to seeing how their team performs now that Kylian Mbappé is part of their squad. As for Barcelona, it's difficult to gauge the strength of Hansi Flick's team at this point, as the German coach has yet to instill the positive identity in the squad that Xavi once brought. However, looking at Pot 1, Liverpool will likely stir up many emotions for Barca fans, given the painful memories from nearly 6 years ago. The Cops' incredible comeback at Anfield, where Van Dijk and his teammates overturned a 3-goal deficit from the first leg, will surely go down in history. A rematch now could be a great opportunity for Barca to test their resolve during such a challenging period. Another club that has frequently haunted Barca in the Champions League is Bayern Munich, a team they will likely want to avoid in the first round. Barca has lost 6 consecutive matches against Bayern in the Champions League, and coach Hansi Flick certainly wouldn't want to face the possibility of losing to his former team again on the European stage. Even PSG could be a tough opponent for Barca, especially given their 1-4 loss to the Parisians in Spain last season, an outcome that surely left Catalan fans unsatisfied. That said, not every opponent brings bad memories for Barca. Dortmund might be one of the few more favorable matchups for the Catalan giants, along with RB Leipzig or Club Brugge. But all this goes to show that both Barca and Real must be ready for the many traps they could face in the 2024-2025 Champions League season. Looking at the recent performances of these two Spanish giants in Europe's top competition, each has its own unique pressures. For Real Madrid, the reigning champions, the challenge is how to defend their title and maintain their dominance on the continental stage. With Kylian Mbappé now in the squad, the expectations are even higher for Carlo Ancelotti's side. Meanwhile, Barcelona is still struggling to regain its footing amidst financial issues and a constantly evolving European football landscape. They must find a way to prove that they are still a force to be reckoned with in the Champions League. Of course, everything above is mere speculation as we await the official draw on August 31st. As mentioned, this season's Champions League will undoubtedly be a tough test for the ambition and meticulous planning of all the top managers. And for Barcelona and Real Madrid, they surely understand their responsibility, not just to their fans, but also to maintaining Spanish football's position as one of the most dominant forces in Europe in recent years.